We're in Fayetteville, Arkansas, home of the University of Arkansas Razorbacks, and today we're gonna be grilling up some steak, some sliders, and some pigs in a blanket to give away for free.
Ooh, pigs!
This is the Tailgate Tour, presented by Grill Grate. All right, so now we're gonna do my take on pigs in a blanket. I like to use some smoked sausage. We're gonna wrap them up in a crescent roll with some cheese. It's really good. Let me show you how we do it. This is the easiest way you're ever gonna make pigs in a blanket. We were a little behind schedule after spending about an hour and a half trying to park, so thankfully we had a really quick and easy recipe to get us started. We're gonna start with some sausage here, some smoked sausage. We're gonna let it cook for a little bit. I'm gonna throw that on the smoker and let it cook for a little bit. After the sausage is smoked for about 20 to 30 minutes, we're gonna pull it and let it rest. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this full sheet of crescent roll dough. We're just gonna lay it out here. Just roll this out. We're gonna take some of this here sausage and trim it up to about the length of that. Now we're just gonna take the crescent roll dough, just roll it over, just like that. You can also go the old school route here and wrap each bit individually, but we're going for quick and easy on this recipe. It's good just like that. It's the easiest way to do it. Then once it cooks, we're gonna slice it into bite-sized pieces. Let's put this in a smoker or oven at 375 degrees and cook it for about 10 to 15 minutes, or until the dough is cooked through. Now we're just gonna slice it up. These are so good and very simple to make. Pair it with a good honey mustard sauce and you've got an easy appetizer to get things going. Now it's time for the tomahawk. First thing we need to do is get it in a 2-gallon Ziploc bag so we can marinate it for about an hour or two in Allegro Original Marinade. Be careful when you're sealing it up. Anytime you have a bone, you run the risk of poking a hole in the bag. All right, now that we've got it ready to go in the cooler, we're gonna put it here in the Orca. That's gonna keep it cold until it's time to start cooking it. The good thing about this is we don't have to worry about any food safety issues because this thing keeps ice for so long. We're going to be doing a reverse sear on these steaks. We're smoking this at 275 degrees over cowboy applewood and charcoal pellets. Now that this is heating up, we're going to remove the steak from the marinade. Now, we want to season it with Crove beef rub, and don't be shy with this. This cut is so thick, so it's going to be difficult to over-season it. I recommend seasoning it about 20 minutes before it goes on the pit. Be sure that every side of this steak is well covered, and then we're going to toss it on the pit at 275 degrees. Then we're going to stick a probe in it to monitor the temperature during the cook. Depending on how you like your steak cooked and the thickness of the steak, this could take anywhere from 45 to 75 minutes. That's why it's important to monitor the internal temp closely during the cook. For me, I like it medium rare, so I want to cook it to about 120 to 125 degrees. Then, when it's resting, it's going to continue to rise anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees. While it's cooking, we're going to heat up our cowboy charcoal briquettes for the sear. Get those hot and get the grill grates warmed up. All right, so now we got these grill grates, they're popping hot. All we got to do is just finish this tomahawk off. I mean, look at that. This thing is beautiful. We're going to lay the steaks over the grill grates at an angle and then baste it with some garlic butter. We just melted butter and added in our beef rub, which has a lot of garlic in it. Cook these for 45 to 60 seconds and then turn at 90 degrees. Then just sear it for another 45 to 60 seconds, flip them over, and repeat that process. All right, so here's the final product. Look at that. Now I am going to let it finish real quick on the side just to sear some of that fat off, but this thing is good to go. We just need to let it rest for about 15 minutes and slice into it. All right, so we got 2 tomahawk steaks here. This one's a little bit more medium. I figure we have to have a little bit of variance, so it's rested for about 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and cut it up. With a steak like this, I like to remove the ribeye cap. It's the top muscle that runs around the bulk of the ribeye. Today I'm just going to slice that into bite-sized pieces for samples, but the ribeye cap is my favorite cut of beef. After that, we're going to slice the rest of this up into bite-sized pieces. Anytime we slice our meat open and expose the inside, we're going to want to season that. That gives us an even level of seasoning throughout the meat, not just on the edge. Now, all it's left to do is try it for ourselves. Amazing. All right, Jackson, that's the end of it. You can cut the camera. Turn it off. Sliders are one of the best things to do for a tailgate. It's easy to pass out. They're small portions. You can really put anything on a slider. So let's show you how we can do some chicken bacon ranch sliders. And I have a feeling it's going to go over really well. We have our chicken breasts laid out and we're going to season them very generously with Crove poultry rub. Be sure to season both sides of the chicken. Just like last week in New Orleans, we're smoking these chicken breasts. That's going to give us a lot more flavor for this pulled chicken that's going to go on the sliders. We're going to lay them on the smoker at 275 degrees, and this is going to take about an hour. But we're not cooking for time, we're cooking for temperature. We're looking for 165 degrees internal. While that's smoking, we're going to start on the bacon. I have some thick cut bacon and we're going to cut it into little pieces, otherwise known as lardons, and that southern accent really shines with that word. Add this to a cold pan and let it set over medium heat. Cook that down and set it aside. Now that our chicken has reached 165 degrees internal, we're good to let it rest and start to shred it. All right, so our chicken has been smoked. It is completely cooked through. Now it's time to shred it, mix it with the bacon, and let's put it on some sliders. You can use forks, your hands, or you can use some meat claws like what I have here. If you're doing this at home, a kitchen stand mixer will shred a lot of chicken really quick. Once that's shredded, let's add in the bacon. And just like the steak, we're going to season this again now that the meat is exposed. Throw in some more poultry seasoning and mix this up really good. We have these King's Hawaiian slider rolls, and we're going to assemble them by starting with a good layer of homemade ranch. Then toss in that chicken and don't be shy about it. My only regret here is that I didn't add enough ranch. I should have added another scoop on top or even mixed it in the pan with the chicken, but just add a little bit more ranch here and then add on some cheddar cheese. Throw them in a 350 degree oven or smoker, just long enough to let the cheese melt and let the tops turn golden brown. Okay, so we've got some melted butter here. We're gonna add the beef rub to it. Stir that up. That's what we're gonna drizzle on top of these buns. These were unreal. Like I said before, we had a really tough time parking. There really weren't any tailgaters this far from the stadium, so we didn't have a ton of foot traffic. Luckily, a few fans did walk by so we could give them a couple of sliders. Hey, what do you think? What do you think about the sliders?
Phenomenal. By far the best sliders I've ever had. Bussin'.
Bustin' indeed. There was only one other tailgate in this parking lot, so we had to treat them to some food as well. We got Tomahawk Ribeyes and chicken bacon ranch sliders for y'all.
Holy cow! I want the chicken.
Here, she's the one who wants it, yeah.
Thank you.
Y'all enjoy it, absolutely, yeah. Fayetteville was one of the most gorgeous campuses I've ever seen. The people were so friendly and the food was great. And we wouldn't have been able to give away all that food for free if it weren't for our sponsors. Grill Grate, the Tennessee River Jam, Orca Coolers, Cowboy Charcoal, and Allegro Marinade. Thanks for those that did stop by, and let me tell you there was no shortage of people in Knoxville on our next episode. Be sure to subscribe for that, and as always, thanks for watching.